What's up, Pay Attention family? It's your host, Savior Smith, and I'm extremely grateful that you've made it this far. I want to shout out to everyone that has been watching, that's been viewing, and of course, subscribing to this new YouTube channel. One thing that I'm doing is I'm looking to educate everyone and reward them for educating themselves. So making the decision to watch this podcast, you have now the potential to win free Bitcoin, right? Yes, free Bitcoin. Now, what does that mean? I'm going to start going live every Wednesday night on Instagram Live and sending one of you Bitcoin just for tuning in. Now, to qualify for this Pay Attention Bitcoin giveaway, all you have to do is like this video, comment on this video, and of course, comment your cash tag. That way you could be entered into the drawing for someone just like you to win free Bitcoin. So for you looking to learn about financial literacy, black ownership, black wealth, you can now win a reward of Bitcoin by literally tuning into this YouTube channel. It's something new, but I'm looking to reward you guys for taking the time out of your busy schedules, out of your days to tune in with Pay Attention. So again, thank you guys for your support thus far. Let's continue to grow. Let's continue to elevate. And of course, let's continue to educate ourselves and our community one day at a time. Thank you guys for tuning in. And remember, if you want some free Bitcoin, all you have to do is like this video, comment on this video, and comment your cash tag for a chance to win. Thank you guys, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of Pay Attention.
It's just different.
We are joined by literally an investor, an entrepreneur of Grandeur Society who has just recently launched another Airbnb with Employ the Money. So I'm super duper excited to have him on. But first and foremost, I want you guys to hear from the graduate of West Point University in New York. For those that don't know, that is the Army Military University. I said that correct?
Yeah, it's the Academy, same.
Academy.
Tomato.
Yeah, okay, the Academy for the Army. So he's a graduate, but now after he's done his career, he's in service, he's now also taking entrepreneurship by the horns and allowing other people to learn how to grow themselves, invest in themselves, and of course, employ the money. So before we get started, man, Mr. Jeff, man, I definitely want you to tell them a little bit about who you are and where you come from, man.
Yes, sir. So Jeff Ejekam, born and raised Houston, Texas. Y'all can follow me on all social media platforms at Jeff Ejekam. Keep it straight to the point, you know what I'm saying? I'm all about business. I'm all about getting it done. So you can find me real easy, Jeff Ejekam. I'm the only one. So to keep things pushing, man, born and raised Houston, Texas. My parents immigrated from Nigeria. So I'm first generation Nigerian. Came out to, Houston is home. I love Houston. But ended up going out to New York to West Point, United States Military Academy, where I played football all 4 years. So I've been playing sports my whole life, but football is my bread and butter. That's my love. That's my baby. So I've been playing football for almost 18, 19 years. Wow. So, went over there, went to the academy, learned a lot. For those who don't know, like Xavier said, it's a military academy. Very regimented, very scheduled, very difficult, but also provided me the opportunity to play Division I football. So playing football at the highest level against some of the greatest players like Denzel Ward, Joey Bosa. We played teams like Ohio State, Penn State. So all sorts of teams. You look at the schedule, we don't play no fooly stuff. So, I got the best opportunity to play football at the highest level. Fast forward, commissioned in 2018, graduated in commission. I commissioned as a second lieutenant. Promoted, and now I'm actually going to be promoting to captain tomorrow. So I'll be Captain Ejekam come tomorrow. So, within my military career, obviously the Army has been doing great things for me. I've been able to travel a lot. I go around. If you follow me on Instagram, you notice that I'm never in the same spot. I'm always moving somewhere. I'm always trying to, be in somewhere different because I love to travel and I love to see new things. And two, it's primarily to push this brand right here. I want the whole world to know about this right here.
Yes, sir.
Within my career in the military, I still train to play football. I plan on being a professional football player once I'm done with my service, as well as being, running this business as the Grandeur Society as the CEO of it, and also pushing this Employ the Money brand, and just keep stacking assets and keep investing.
Woo! Let's go. That's the money word right there. Yes, sir. Assets.
Assets over liability. Shout out to EYL.
Shout out to EYL.
But yeah, man, that's pretty much me in a nutshell. And like I said, if y'all ready to employ the money, y'all know where to find it.
Man, that's amazing, man. So I'm excited for this episode because I like the fact that you have some military experience, but I like how you didn't let that hinder you from also growing outside of the military. You know, so focusing on yourself, your wealth, your family's legacy, your legacy, all with Employed Money with Grandeur Society, which is an investment group between you and your brothers. Yeah. Man, that's lit, man. I'm excited. I think that's a perfect segue into the start of this, the first segment, man, as we dive into a little bit more about you, man. So you did mention that your parents are from Nigeria originally. They did transition to Houston or Texas mid-30s, and then you were born in Houston, correct?
Correct. That's correct.
Okay, lit. So, man, so now that we're at the foundation of who Jeff is, man, my first question is, since we're talking about black wealth, right, black ownership, right, one popular word is entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
And of course you may have that similar to business owner or CEO, right? So one thing I want to kind of highlight is growing up, man, most people, including myself, did not have entrepreneurial examples growing up, man. So my question to you is, man, did you have any examples of business owners, entrepreneurs within the family that influenced how you move today?
Man, so I honestly don't even call it entrepreneurship from what I saw with my dad. My dad was just a hustler. Like, he literally he had his day job, but he was always grinding. Like, he literally instilled grinding, and my mother too. So my mother is a full-time nurse at Benton Hospital. My father just retired this past year, but he was doing he was a consultant, helping people get jobs and stuff like that. But on the side, my dad would always be working on cars, shooting videos, doing some sort of digital work with his community, the Nigerian community in Houston. And like, I saw how versed my dad was in so many different things. And I'm like, man, this dude really getting it. You know what I'm saying? Like, people would pay him to do videos. People would pay him to help work on their car. Like, and so I'm sitting there like, he was just hustling. So even not even taking it to an entrepreneurial type of aspect, my dad just taught me how to hustle. And then my mom taught me how to be resilient. My mom would work 13 hours in a day, still come home and find a way to cook a meal for the family and provide for her family as far as that. Love, care, all that stuff. So both of them combined just really instilled in me what it means to work hard, be diligent in your work, and be resilient. Really not take any BS from anybody, because at the end of the day, they came from Nigeria and came out here to start a new life and really get things going for their fam. So they really took a chance. Like, they could have stayed in Nigeria and been comfortable and stuff like that, but they wanted more. And honestly, like I said, my dad grinded. It wasn't easy for him, and my mom was grinding too. So just seeing them grind and work, it was just so inspirational for me, because it was like, I literally have no choice but to succeed because of how much work they put in for me. So that was really what inspired me to just really take this stuff to the next level. Is even whether it was my academics, whether it was football, or whether it's even in this business stuff, like, I just want to be at a new level because my parents set that foundation where it's like, the standard is success. Now you just got to find out how successful do you want to be.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow, that's real. That's lit, man. And shout out to mom and dad, man, for real.
Facts.
For sure, man. I know there's often a stigma that Nigerian parents can be strict, man, and that may be true to a certain extent. But man, for the people that's tuning in, listening to you, man, what is one thing that your parents taught you that you'll never forget?
Bro, I would just say, like I said, resilience and just, beating the odds. Like, the odds have been stacked against a lot of us for a while, especially even with my parents, like I said, being immigrants to the nation and just kind of starting off kind of low. Like, my father came here, he originally came to Little Rock, and he couldn't speak English properly. Like, he was trying to find his way, and ran into a lot of people that were very racist to him, doing all sorts of stuff. So he really got it out the mud. So like, just seeing how he transgressed all from that all the way to where he is now is simply remarkable. And then just seeing my mother kind of in the same predicament, my parents were already married. They got married in Nigeria and then they moved to America together. But my dad actually came to America when he was 18, kind of set the foundation and started, ripping and running, finding his way. Came back to Nigeria, found my mom. They got married, and they brought each other back with my sister and that like that. So, but yeah, like even my mother, when she came to America, she had to find a job. She had to find her way, and she barely could speak English like that well. And boom, now she's making a lot of money. She's provided 3 successful children, and it's just like, man, like honestly, it's just like I literally have no excuses like there's no excuse. I have to succeed because of the foundation my parents set. So that's the one thing I learned from them. It's like they made it from the mud, and they did that so I wouldn't have to really necessarily get it out the mud like they did. Mm-hmm. You know, I still got my stripes, I still got my tribulations, and it's not easy for me what I do, but they have set that level of success, like baseline success, like I said, and then now it's just the sky's the limit for me, because now I can set what I feel like my bar of success is, and know that I'm in a good predicament.
Yeah, man, that's good, man. Well, definitely, like I said, shout out to mom and dad, man. They've definitely raised a successful young man, and I'm proud of you, man. Just to say that right now, man.
I appreciate that,
I look
bro.
up to you, man, as a big brother, man, for sure. But let's dive into that life decision, man, because I know most people may have thought about it before joining the military, man. So, what was that decision like? Of course, D1 football was a factor, was a variable, man. But to say I want to take a D1 to a military academy, man, what was that decision process like? What made you finally say yes?
Yeah, bro. So I would say that my entire life I've prided myself on being different. Like I really enjoy being different. Like I don't like being like everybody else, and it's apparent that I like to separate. I'm not gonna say separate myself from the rest, but I want to be the best that I can be. Like I don't want to be considered general population. Like I've never wanted to be that. I've wanted to be higher echelon, and that's why we even call the Grandeur Society the Grandeur Society. Grandeur means of higher excellence, of prestige. You know what I'm saying? So I've always wanted that. I've always wanted to be better than the best at some point. And I knew going to West Point, obviously military is tough. It's not an easy path, but the benefits that I heard about West Point, and then also being able to fulfill my dream of playing Division I football, it was just, it was like God literally set that in front of me and said, this is what you need to do, this is your purpose, and this is where you need to go. Like, I'm not even going to front. Initially, but I would never have thought that I'd be in the military, bro. Never. But I feel like when God speaks to you, you got to listen. And I feel like that was God literally talking to me, saying, you need to take this path because this is going to separate you from the rest. This is going to put you on the path that is going to take you to the sky, literally. So when I saw that opportunity, I said, you know what? There's a reason why. Because honestly, to be real, to backtrack, I actually signed my letter of intent to play Division II football in Florida. Lo and behold, scholarship paperwork didn't come back the way it was. I was going to owe some student loans and stuff like that, and that was not part of the deal that I made with the institution and the coaching staff. So lo and behold, they pulled my scholarship, they pulled me off the books, whatever, and then boom, West Point called. And again, just the way that even that story, how that lined up, it was destined for me to go to West Point. Because it gave me everything I needed. It gave me Division I football. It gave me the best education in arguably the world. And then also it gave me a career immediately after graduation. And those are 3 things that a lot of people cannot get, like when they come out of college. So, yeah, bro, it was just like God really said, this is it. Like, this is what you need to do. And like I said, when God speaks, you gotta listen, bro. So I made sure I said I listen, and no matter how hard it is, I'm gonna grind. Like, I'm gonna get through this because I feel like this is destined for me to do this.
Yeah, man, that's lit, man. So when you made that transition, man, I know as a military student, you know what I'm saying, even as a career now, most college students, right, even myself or just people in general, a word that's commonly thrown around is discipline. Now, some people take advantage of that word, and some people don't take advantage of that word. But my thing is, man, how did discipline tie into military life versus your entrepreneurial life, just in general?
Bro, I'm glad you said it that way because, bro, like, it's crazy how much of the things that I've learned in my military career coincide with what I use on my entrepreneurial side, business side, even sports. Like, and I feel like even adding sports in that mix too, playing sports for so long, especially football, like those 3 things all tied in together and made me successful in my military career, sports career, and my business career. Because all of those things require discipline, literally sports, schooling, military, all discipline. Like, especially when you're doing it at the academy, because there's so much stuff, like, everything is so regimented. Like, you're on a time hack here. You got to make this deadline. You got to do this. And then you're doing that while playing Division I football. You're waking up at 5:30 in the morning. You got to be at this formation. You got to be here. You know, there was never a day that I could wake up and say, you know what, I don't feel like going to class. You got punished for not going to class. So if you didn't go to class, there were repercussions. There was pretty much repercussions for anything that you did. So, like, even if you went out into town, got in trouble, you didn't just get in trouble with the law, you also got in trouble with the school. So there's consequences for everything that you do. And I feel like that discipline word is how you prevent yourself from getting into trouble. So, man, like I said, I'm not even going to front. My freshman year, bro, I was like, I'm at West Point, so all I need to do is make it. Like, it doesn't matter if I graduate with a 2.0, whatever. As long as I make it, I make it. That was a horrible way of going into it, because I almost found myself not making it because I was just trying to do the bare minimum. So when I finished my freshman year of college, I ended up having a 2.1. Mind you, I graduated high school with a 3.7. So I had to look myself in the mirror and I said, is this really who you are? Like, are you going to be, again, like everybody else, or be the bare minimum? Like, is that really want to be? No. So then I changed my perspective and I said, you're here, why not do the best that you can? Like, don't waste your time. Just get the most out of this opportunity. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, it's not easy, but you're doing it because you're trying to set yourself apart from everybody else. So in doing that, I found that my grades improved, my performance on the football field improved, and I started buying in more into the regiment of the military. I started learning more things. Like I said, that all three of these things started meshing more, and I saw more alignment in all the things that I was doing, and saying that it's not school, football, military, it's Jeff Ejekam, this is who you are, and this is the three things that make you. So once I started finding that out,
that's
boom,
big.
I take that, and that's how I started transitioning into the business world. I knew even going into West Point, I knew post-military that I was either going to own my own business or take a business to a whole nother level. It may not have been mine at the time, but one of the two things were going to happen. And once I started this business with Grandeur Society with my best friends, I knew that this is going to be my bread and butter. I'm going to take everything that I learned, like I said, when I found out who Jeff Ejekam was, not military Jeff, not school Jeff, not sports Jeff. When I found out who I was altogether, I knew that I was going to tell myself heights unseen when I started these business ventures, when I started doing the things that I wanted to do. So, yeah, bro, I would say all three of those things were very critical into the success that I have now, because they all instilled that discipline in me in different ways. Like, I disciplined in my regiment with the military, and then disciplined in my school, and just knowing that if you don't do these, there's consequences. And then on the football field, discipline because I got teammates that are counting on me to win this game too.
Right.
So I got to do my job. So it was those three disciplines literally formed who I am today.
Yeah, man, I like that, man. I like that last part, because your lack of discipline affects other people.
100%.
100%,
bro.
That's lit, man. Well, let's talk about, man. Just okay. Post West Point. Now we're Grandeur Society. As a co-owner of Grandeur Society, man, you know what makes Jeff unique to that All-Star team, to that investment.
Man, I'm not very good about talking about myself in that type of retrospect, but I'll give it my best shot. So I'm gonna just use references from what my brothers and my business partners tell me. I think the dynamic that I bring is, one, obviously serving as the CEO of the company. So kind of serving as the face of the company and stuff like that. Like I said, dating back, like I've always known that I wanted to go into business with my best friends. I just didn't know how. Originally, we started off with events. You know, we do parties, mixers, whatever, and stuff like that. But then, you know, it took us kind of seeing that we have this influence that we really have there. Like, a lot of people show up whenever we throw a flyer up or we do this. How can we take that influence and propel these people to another level? And that's when the financial literacy, the generational wealth building, and all of that started coming into play. And that's when we started this branding for the money. So, the thing about me, I think the unique thing that I bring to it is just the engine, bro. I like knowing that, like, I've always wanted to do this. I get so hyped knowing that, you know what I'm saying, I'm doing it. So like anytime we need a deadline met, I make sure hey, are we doing this? I make sure all that stuff. Like I got like we all have our roles in it, but I pretty much am like I make sure it's driving, but I'm so versed in all their stuff too that I one can check and make sure that they're doing it right. Two, if they need help, I'm there to help them, and I push that. So I would say that I'm the net. I catch everything, and then I make sure that things are going. Yeah. There's no step back.
As a CEO should. It sounds like a CEO for sure. Okay, lit.
The second thing that I would say is, bro, I love talking to people, bro. I love traveling. I love speaking about this. Like, it really just brings joy to my heart. And I always tell people, my God-given purpose is to help. I know that if I can help somebody in any sort of way, I'm fulfilling my God-given purpose. So like when I'm going around teaching people, how to start an Airbnb, how to buy a home, how to build credit, how to, finesse all these things, right? I genuinely feel good about myself. So I feel like the thing that I bring, in that sense, is just the networking piece. Like we all network very well, but they'll tell you that I can go to, it can be the most left or right person you wouldn't even think. It'd be some random dude in the corner that hasn't said a word all night. I'm gonna find a way to get that to the top, and I'm gonna find a way to instill this employ the money and Grandeur Society mentality on them, because I just know how to work with people. I'm very personal with people. Like I share my story, the ups and downs, to strangers because I'm very comfortable with myself. I'm very comfortable with the person that I am. So I would love to share that story with them to see if I resonate with them and relate to them. Because a lot of people don't see that vulnerability off rip. Like I'm very vulnerable with people in the beginning because I want to show them I'm an open book, and I want to show them that, hey, I'm here to help you. I'm here with open arms, and I'm genuine about it. So that's the second thing. And then the third thing is, bro, not to gas myself up, but if you've ever gone out with me, or if you've ever been around me, man, I'm a vibe, man. The vibe. I'm addicted to the vibe. I'll say it just like that. So anytime I can set the tone of how things are supposed to go, I'm gonna set the tone. So if we turn it up, we turn it up. If we own business, we own business. If we're here, we're here. I set the tone. I am the tone setter. So
that's lit.
Y'all tell me how we're doing it, and that's how we're gonna do it. So I make sure that we're on schedule on that too. So those are the three things I say that I really bring to the group. That kind of, like you said, we the all-star team. We the dream team for real. Like that's real life. So like that's my piece in bringing to the thing.
For sure, man. Well, before we go into financial literacy, man, the last question I have is for you to kind of reach out to the person that's watching this podcast, man. What advice do you have for that man, that woman, that boy or girl, that college student, that 9-to-5 worker, that entrepreneur? What advice would you give to them just in general?
Man, I think the best thing that I could ever tell somebody is to say it all the time in the Grandeur Society: impact over revenue. And I want everybody that's watching to really dissect what that means. Impact over revenue. What I mean by that is the impact you make in a community, in a group or whatever, trumps any sort of revenue that you're going to make. And I'm going to tell you why. Because when you influence and you impact a group, they're going to be so bought into what you're doing that they're going to now find a way to find that revenue to come through. The money is going to come. When you focus on impact, when you focus on being genuine, when you focus on actually focusing on what it is my why. What is the why? Don't worry about the bread. The bread is going to come if you're passionate about it and if you're genuine about it. If you're willing to make that impact in that certain group, right, that revenue is going to come. Because then you're going to find people who are willing to invest in you because they see that you're investing in them. You believe in them. You know what I'm saying? So when people see that, bro, you're not only giving the monetary revenue, but you're getting the revenue of relationships and building, because relationships can take you somewhere you've never seen, bro. Networking is a beautiful thing. Building a connection is a beautiful thing, because you don't know what that person knows and they don't know what you know until you establish that type of impact in that relationship with that person. So always remember, no matter what you do in business, even in life, impact over revenue. Do not let that money take over your why. The impact should be your why, and always put that impact first.
Yeah, man, that's big, especially from a black man, bro. Most times we do make decisions as minorities, man. Let's say as minorities, man. We focus on the money, the short term money, the fast money, instead of how can we help, how can we serve. So, just in general, man, I think that was a great answer, man. So, man, definitely, man. So. Now, right, since we're talking about you, let's talk about financial literacy and how Jeff thinks, how Jeff kind of operates in between the ears when it comes to it. So my first question is, we see the gear, big employer money, employer money gear. So my question is, in your words, what does employ the money mean to you?
Man, so employ the money means make, like in layman's terms, make that money work for you, but not just in a monetary sense. So a lot of people are like, oh yeah, invest, cool. Don't just invest money, to make the money come back to you. That's cool. I want you to invest the money so that your health is good, your mental is good, your pockets are good, and that your lifestyle is good. Like that money should be working in all of those facets. So that means investing monetarily. That means investing that money. Maybe you want to get physically fit, invest in a trainer. Maybe you want to get mental health, invest in a psychologist, a therapist. Maybe you want to improve your lifestyle. You better invest in a rewards card so you start traveling. And that's a gem in itself. Right. So, like I said, it's holistic investment. That's what I call employment money. It's holistic investment. Yeah. It's not just monetarily, it's your entire life. But in layman's terms, when you say make that money work, employ the money. The money's supposed to work for you. You're not supposed to be slaving. You know what I'm saying? We're not on this earth as slaves, and we're here to fulfill our purpose, to be, to walk our destiny. So at the end of the day, why not make money? Like money should not be taking vacation. You should be taking vacation. Yeah. So make that money work for you. That's exactly what important.
Yeah, man, that's lit, man. I think that's a great answer, because when we talk about employ the money, most people may think of investing stocks, real estate, crypto, forex, whatever the case may be, NFTs even. But when you talk about what you just said, investing in yourself, I think you are your biggest asset. You know what I'm saying? 100%. So investing in yourself, man, I think is really employ the money, man. So 100%, man. So now that we can go forward, man, how important is financial literacy to you and why?
Man, so funny enough, I always kind of understood finances before. Like I said, I've grown up with my parents kind of teaching me that finances are important. But it wasn't until maybe 2 or 3 years ago that I really started understanding. Let me not say that. So like when I got to West Point, they taught us a lot about finances and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But when I really started stressing the importance was about 2 or 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. And really diving into the study of finance. Not even just like, I want to be a financial advisor or anything like that. I'm talking about just the philosophy of finance, building generational wealth, investing, literally employing the money. How do I make it to where my finances are not a burden, but they're an asset? You know what I'm saying? Right. So I figured out how I started diving into that, and I realized like I want to set my family up. And then on top of that, selfishly, I don't want to work until I'm 60 years old. Like I don't want to do that. Like we don't live to work all these years and then only enjoy like the back end of our lives. Like, I want to enjoy my life the entirety of the time that I'm on earth. You know what I'm saying? So how do I make that happen? How do I set my children up to where they understand that, yeah, we got it, but you still got to work hard for it, but just know that, I'm here if you need me type of thing. Mm-hmm. How do I set it up to where it's like, I'm not even worried about the next year. I'm not worried about not making that for you saying. Like, how do I do that? And so once I started laying out what my priorities were, that's when I started realizing like, all right, now I really have to start diving in, because I will wholeheartedly say this, even off topic, bro, I'm a lover boy. So I'm always thinking about future family, my wife, my kids. I'm like, man, I want them to have the best life possible. Like, I want to be able to get my kids up, like, on a weekend and be like, hey, y'all, we're going to Greece. Hey, we're going to Italy. Hey, we're doing this. We're doing that. Like, I want them to enjoy. I want them to see the fruitfulness of living. You know what I'm saying? So how do I do that? Obviously, I have to build generational wealth. I have to be financially literate. So that's why it's very important to me. And then caveat off it, I don't have a family yet. So what's the next best thing for me? My community, Black community. How do I serve them? And, so the Grandeur Society, we saw a lack, obviously, in financial literacy in the Black community. Minorities altogether, really, but we focused on the Black community to start. And we said, this is not acceptable. Like, a lot of people, I will even say a lot of people, we kind of, as a Black community, sometimes we wait, we've been waiting on these, reparations. The government owes us this money. Don't wait on the government, man. Go get your money. Go get your bread. And it's very much possible to do that if you just apply the knowledge and you get the information. Information is the most valuable currency on this earth.
Facts.
Not the yen, not the dollar. Information is the most valuable currency on this earth. So when you start getting that information, you start reading these books, you start diving into the internet and these articles and stuff like that, you can find some $1 million gems that you didn't even think you stumbled upon. And we all have the capability of doing it in the Black community. We just gotta apply it, man. So that's when we were like, man, we're gonna set the tone. We're gonna be the example, because a lot of people don't see Black people in success. They, like we talked about it earlier, you see rappers, you see sports players, whatever, entertainment. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that's how you make your bread, that's how you make your bread. But we don't have to just stay in that lane. We can be business owners. We can be CEOs. We can do whatever we want. But we just simply have to apply the information to figure out what are the steps to get there.
Yeah.
So that's what the Grandeur Society, and that's what we established ourselves to do off rip. Is we want to be the example that it doesn't have to be this one lane. You can go in so many different ways, and then we teach you how to do it.
Yeah.
So
that's lit.
bro.
Lit, man. Now that's lit, because I think one thing that you said perfectly was about financial literacy. You said self-education, and to me that ties into discipline, because we all have 24 hours in a day, the same as the bum on the street and the billionaire in the penthouse. No offense to the bum on the street, but that billionaire is spending his time differently.
Right.
So as a college student, as an individual, let's not even put college students in there, as an individual, right? How important is self-education? Taking that 1 hour, 2 hours a day to learn something that you don't know about, right? To
Exactly.
understand, I don't know this, but to accept and be aware that I can grow if I do learn this.
Yes, sir.
So
Right
what does self-education look like to you?
Man, bro, so I will say that, shout out to my boy, Justin's heavy on acids. His name is heavy on acids for a reason, you know what I'm saying?
Big
So
thanks.
for the Grandeur Society, he is the Chief Executive Officer of, we'll call him the Chief of Research and Expansion. And the reason why we call him the Chief of Research and Expansion is because he is constantly learning new ways to generate revenue. He's always trying to find new ways to establish that generation as well. And he is always supplying us with information. Honestly, the reason why I started self-educating myself is because I saw how much he was learning. And I said, bro, I'm not about to be lacking. Ain't no way. If my bro can do it, I can do it too. And mind you, I'm a very busy person, but being busy is relative to how you want to make it. You make time for the things that you want to make time for. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I'll be very candid. Like, earlier, like my 21, 22, 23-year-olds, I spent a lot of time trying to get with girls, trying to party up and do all these other stuff. But man, I started transitioning my time to focusing on business, focusing on how I'm going to set myself up in the future, my family in the future, and how I'm just going to build, bro. Like, and how I'm going to do that. And that's what takes my time up now. A lot of times people will hit me up and be like, man, you don't even da-da-da-da. But I'm like, man, I'm grinding. I'm in grind mode. And if I've kind of just gotten to that mode of just, if people don't understand what I'm doing and the purpose of what I'm doing, self-educating myself, learning this financial literacy stuff, because I'm really doing it not only for myself, but I'm about to give you the game once I learn it. That's the whole purpose of my business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not holding on to this information. I'm trying to give it away, because if it worked for me, I know it can work for you. So, yeah, bro, like, self-education is very important, because one, you're gonna dive into a subject that you're passionate about. So if you're not disciplined in that research, disciplined in what you want to learn, then you're not going to thoroughly learn that subject. So I feel like self-discipline and self-education go hand in hand, because if you're not going to be disciplined enough to learn it, then you're never going to educate yourself. Like, you're never going to get past that threshold of just simply like opening the book. Like, people say it all the time, they buy these ebooks and think, oh, this is the sauce. But then they read 2 pages and they're like, this is too much, or be disciplined in that and read it and really dive into the information and find out, all right, how did this person become successful, or how did they do it? And maybe you get through the whole thing and that's not what you want to do, but guess what? You just acquired information to now take that and maybe pivot this way or take it this way or go this way.
Right. You might have read 300 pages and got one thing out of those 300 pages that you can apply to another aspect in your life.
100%, bro.
Nah, that's lit. Man, so man, just as you employ the money, man, I know that Grandeur Society is big on being philanthropists, right? I know that you're a group of owners, a group of bosses that does toy drives, that does food can drives, man. So how important is philanthropy to you, man, and how does it feel to give back to your community?
I honestly feel like a lot of people, they see us after buying an asset, like that feels great. My Airbnb launch and everything, that was amazing. That was one of the best feelings I have. But there is no better feeling than knowing that you are doing something to better your community. And we are blessed that our brand is just that. But when it comes to the philanthropy piece, the community service piece, it simply is unmatched, bro. Like when we did our toy drive and I was able to deliver those toys in the U-Haul to the Houston Children's Charity, I sat there and I just looked at all the faces, like, and how happy everybody was, how joyful. Like when we dropped them toys off, they were like, "Oh my goodness!" When we dropped the canned food drive off at the Houston Food Pantry, man, me and Justice actually dropped it off together, and we sat there in there for, I want to say 45 more minutes to an hour, simply just talking. And these people were talking about how great the things that we're doing for the community, saying that this is not only going to help the Houston community, but they're going to take these food overseas to people that need it overseas. So we're not even just impacting our immediate community. We're impacting people all over the world. Bro, there's no better feeling than knowing that you're doing something like that. And then, like I said, my purpose in life that I was called to do is help. So anytime that I feel like that's happening, it just brings joy to my heart. And I'm sure I can attest, I can speak for all my business partners. It's the same way for them, bro. Like, I would rather, and it's crazy, like, people always act like, they ask the business side to be like, oh, so y'all are writing off all these toys and da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, we can do that. That's fine. But I'm not doing it because of that. I'm not doing it because I want to write off or anything like that. I'm doing it because I want to help the community. Yeah. My business partners feel the same way. So we don't do it for a lot of people do these charitable events because they're trying to monetize it. We don't care about the money. Like I said, it's impact over revenue because now, going back to that stuff, Houston Children's Charity has hit me up multiple times and say, hey, let's work together. Houston Food Pantry's hit me up multiple times and say, hey, let's work together. So we are establishing these relationships to where it's like, we don't even worry about the money because it's going to come anyway. Right. We're worried about the impact. How are we going to impact our community? Because that legacy lasts forever, bro. Your legacy is what lasts forever.
Yeah, legacy lasts a lifetime.
You can literally lose money today and find a way to get it back tomorrow if you really try it. Now that legacy, it's timestamped. Every single thing is timestamped. It's literally a history book. You can't go back and erase history. You got to keep adding on to that legacy. So how are you gonna dictate your legacy? And I feel like we just want to leave a lasting legacy, a lasting impact in our community.
Yeah. Man, now that's lit, man. That's lit, man. Well, before we end it off with this speed round, my last question is, what are some goals you personally have for yourself or goals for Grandeur Society? End of the year. End of the year goals.
Yes. End of the year goals. All right. I can't disclose too much with the Grandeur Society stuff because we try to.
Boo!
We try to work it and then.
Now I feel you. Yeah.
Just know that we're going to be investing in a lot of things by the end of the year. And there's going to be a lot of content pushed out on how to do X, Y, and Z. Just know that. That's what I will disclose. So we're going to be opening up, between me and Justice, there's 3 Airbnbs in the Grandeur Society. And that's just between the founders. Right. Between our community, there's at least, man, I would say people affiliated with the Grandeur Society, there's at least maybe 10 to 15 Airbnbs.
Woo!
So
impact.
Impact. Yeah. So I will honestly say it's going crazy. We're adding. So there's gonna be more of that. What I will disclose is there are gonna be more houses. There's gonna be more doors in the Grandeur Society for sure.
Okay.
There's going to be, like I said before, more businesses established within the Grandeur Society. And bro, I think the biggest thing goal-wise that I'll say for the Grandeur Society is just by the end of the year, I want to be able to look around and say we just don't have Houston. We have other cities that know what the Grandeur Society is. Because I'm not gonna lie, man. I even talked to Justice last night, and Houston knows who the Grandeur Society is. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Like, we definitely catching fire, and the thing is, we're just getting started. But we're not even close to what our potential is.
Yeah.
So I don't want it to just be Houston. I want it to be LA. I want it to be Atlanta. I want it to be Miami. I want it to be New York. I want everybody to know what the Grandeur Society is.
Yeah.
But baby steps. So by the end of the year, I think that we're gonna grab another city and they're gonna know what the brand is. So that's what I have for Grandeur Society for myself. So I'm actually in the process. I'll be in the process of transitioning out the military. I'll be out the military, I think, by 2023 of June. Okay. So during this time before the end of the year, I also want to set myself up for my next thing. So obviously, we talked about it earlier. I'm still pursuing my professional football career. So, my goal is to start getting back in contact with teams and getting some work done. And if it's not on the field, the next best thing for me is to get back into the business side of the sports thing. So I'm going to be seeing if I can get, internships and stuff like that. So that's going to be my goal for that. And then on the investing side of things, man, bro, just keep stacking, bro. Don't even trip. Just keep stacking and trust the process. My Airbnb literally launched last week, and I'm seeing revenue. Let's just say that.
Ooh, let's go.
Yes, sir. It's definitely working. It's working. It's definitely employed. The Airbnb is definitely employed. So hopefully later on in the year, like I said, Grandeur Society wise, we're gonna be building some more businesses. But I also plan on doing some more business of my own. And establishing some other ventures as well as that. So it's gonna be a good year, bro. Like I said, I can't disclose. I got some things in my head, but I want y'all to just keep watching the process, because I think where people fail to a lot of folks you see that are calling themselves influencers or entrepreneurs or whatever you want to call it, they're not showing you the whole process, bro. So I think the thing that we pride ourselves as Grandeur Society is we're gonna tell you every kink, every down, every up, everything. Like, we don't hide anything, because that's not the point of the brand. The point is to impact. So we want to show you how everything works. So ain't no cap in our rap. That's all I'm gonna say. So like I said, y'all gonna see the process. Y'all just keep following the brand. Y'all gonna see the process. It's about to be real big, and it's coming sooner than you think. And that's what I'll
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Facts. So make sure y'all go follow @ Grandeur Society. Right.
Yes,
but lastly, we about to do a 60-second speed round. Now, Jeff, what this is I'm gonna ask you questions in 60 seconds. You answer them as fast as you can. There are no wrong answers. There are no right answers. Of course, it's just for a chance for myself, the listeners, the viewers, the fans to actually get a chance to find out a little bit more about you, man.
All right, that's a bet. I'm ready.
Go, man. So it's about to start as soon as I read this first question, man. So 3, 2, what is your birthday?
July 9, 1996.
Astrology sign.
Ooh, Cancer.
Favorite color?
Black and gold.
Okay. Favorite sport? Basketball or football?
Football.
Favorite athlete?
Ooh, Kobe Bryant, RIP.
Shoe size?
12 and a half.
Cardio or weights?
Weights all the way, baby.
If a plane picked you up tonight, where would it land tomorrow?
Ooh, Greece. I gotta go see Greece.
Okay. Private jet versus private yacht?
Ooh, yacht. I ain't gonna lie.
High rise or townhome?
Damn. Townhome, because I'm an Airbnb that bad boy.
Okay. Saving or investing?
Investing. Come on, employ that thing.
Okay. Audio or physical books?
I gotta do physical because I gotta start diving. Got to.
Okay. Prayer or meditation?
Both. I need both. There's no choose between. They go hand in hand.
Favorite fruit?
Damn. That's a tough one. I ain't gonna lie. I like all the fruit.
Okay. Favorite food? Favorite food?
Ooh. I'm gonna go, bro. I eat everything. I ain't gonna lie.
All right, you good? That's Tom. That's it. Man, that's a bit. Nah, that's cool, man. That's good, bro. I liked it, man. So thank you for that 60 seconds, man. I got a chance to learn a little bit more about you, man, what you like, man. So definitely, man. So, man, shout yourself out one more time so that people can know where to follow you. Stay tuned with you in your movement.
Yes, sir. So my personal is at Jeff Ejekam. Real plain simple first and last name. Man, I don't even like promoting myself. You know, I want to promote the business. I want y'all to go to the business page first. Don't even go to my page. So at _ the Grandeur Society, there you will learn a lot about me, and then you'll be able to find me and, you know, follow my journey, my personal journey. But I will tell y'all a lot of the business side, philanthropist, entrepreneur stuff, like I put on the Grandeur Society because I believe in building my brand more than, you know, anything. So the brand is important to me. I know I'm gonna get it regardless, so I'm not worried about Jeff. I'm worried about building this community and building this brand because this right here, what we got on at the Grandeur Society is gonna be big. So I just want as many people to see it, be a part of it as possible because it's impact over revenue, and we're ready to impact.
Let's get it, man. Well, man, I'm excited for having you on this episode, man. I learned a lot. I want to say thank you again for taking the time out of your busy schedule. I know you have a lot of events coming up this weekend,
Yes,
man.
sir.
So, man, just to celebrate you, man, I want to give you your flowers now and say thank you, man. You're a king.
I appreciate it.
You have a lot of wisdom, man. You got a lot of power. And, of course, man, you're very educated, man. So, of course, man, as the people get a chance to listen to you, I hope they learn something from this conversation or pay attention as we got a chance to dive into Mr. Jeff Ejekam.
Yes, sir. Ejekam.
Yes, sir. Ejekam with at _ Grandeur Society. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been another episode of Pay.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love